The end of the NFL draft took a little breather off, but we're back with some big time news. We got our starting quarterback with a big deal, well deserved, overpaid. What do you guys think about it? Also, recapping the 2024 NFL draft and what are some of the biggest concerns about our team heading into training camp and 2024. Let's kick it off. I think that's kind of fly. If I don't say so myself, man.
Yeah.
It's been a minute.
Yeah. So what you say while we in a winner's circle now, we can change it up.
We're in the winner's circle now. We can have music.
We got music. I like that though. I like that.
We can hire some help.
Okay. Walt Dollar. I see you. Okay.
Walt Dollar, man. Appreciate you.
Yeah,
Really
yeah,
appreciate you for the music. Holla at
yeah.
this man for all your instrumental needs.
Yeah.
But yeah, we winners.
Yeah.
Look, we winners, man. Jared Goff,
Mm-hmm.
big time deal. I think. Well, before we jump into golf, I think that's going to probably be the main thing everybody wants to talk about tonight. Just briefly, because we haven't been back. They haven't had the opportunity to listen to us and get our take on what happened in the 2024 NFL draft.
Yeah.
Cornerback with the first two picks, trading up to get a project offensive lineman, British Columbia. Giovanni Manu, 6'6", 350 pounds. You're talking about a defensive tackle in Makai Wingo, a 3-tech that fell towards the bottom half of the NFL draft for no rational reasons at all, other than the fact that he didn't have that projected upside that a lot of these NFL GMs covet. But I think they hit some spots. Christian Mahogany, guard out of Boston College. Probably most people, scouts, had no more than, well, at least no less than a third round grade on him, fourth round at the least. We got him where we got him. What are your overall thoughts, man?
Yeah. First from the draft as a whole, you know what I mean? We didn't get a chance, like I said, we didn't get a chance to really talk about like the aftermath, from the minute the season ended, it went to draft mania. You know what I'm saying? Especially here in Detroit. You know what I'm saying? What we planning for the city. Oh, just amazing, man. Just amazing. Just from just being there to witness, once in a lifetime, type thing. You know what I mean? To get all to take it all in, being a sports fan, being a Lions fan, being a football fan, being an analyst, to take all that in, to see up close and personal, man, these guys, uh just put on a great show. That's first of all, I was just proud to be here, what I mean, to just be here and to witness it. And it just, as far as the draft, I thought it was fantastic, man. I mean, I didn't, just to go through the picks real quick. I mean, I didn't think we would be able to be in a position to get Terrion Arnold. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I know he was the top corner on the board. And like I said, we and you been pounding the table for a couple years now. We've been doing this show. We've been talking about the cornerback position, and we kind of need that position to be solidified, and it seems like that's always been our shortcoming coming into the last two seasons, where we trying to put a band-aid on on a faucet that keeps running this water that we can't stop. You know what I'm saying? And ultimately, that was the reason why we pretty much didn't make the Super Bowl last year, in my opinion. So, to turn around and get, Taron on to trade up to get him, I don't care. People say, oh, well, we gave up a third round pick or whatever. Listen, just like the Goff signing, which we're gonna get into later a little bit in the show, you go for it, man. You do whatever you have to do to make this team, a Super Bowl contender. You know what I'm saying, next year, because listen, it doesn't automatically say written in stone that this team is going to be good again. I mean, we know we got the ingredients, we know we have the personnel, we got the coach, you know what I'm saying, but it's still no guarantee, you know what I mean? Because listen, I don't know if anybody's seen it, but Minnesota, Chicago, Green Bay, they've all gotten better. You know what I'm saying? And I think we have too. So I just think we constantly now we the hunted. It's easy to go out there and surprise everybody and win and when nobody thought you could win. You know what I'm saying? Now everybody coming for our head now. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, to get Terran on, I was real happy about that. Enos Rakestraw was really I didn't like the pick initially when we got Rakestraw 60. I think we took him at 61. But after I sat and I gathered myself and I thought about it, he was on my board, but he wasn't like, you know what I'm saying, Walt? He was probably sixth or seventh, I think, cornerback wise. That I had. I had some other guys ahead of him. Off the top of my head, I don't need to name them all, but and I liked it. Just long story short, I thought okay, it made sense now. You know what I'm saying? Like, why the hell would you take two corners? But Philly kind of did the same thing, you know what I'm saying? And taking Cooper DeJean, you know what I'm saying? Kenyon Mitchell, and I like you do like you have to like have reinforcements for other teams in your division. And I think our division is gonna be like 30 points a game, that type of thing. You know what I'm saying? So we need to be able to stop the other team from scoring, basically. You know what I'm saying? And not giving up 300 passing yards a game, which we seen at the end of last season. So, yeah, I was real happy about that. I was real happy. You know me, I like Christian Mahogany from the start. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't believe we got him that when we got him. I think that Christian Mahogany is a guy that the Lions fan gonna like this guy, man. You know what I'm saying? I really did a lot of research on him. I don't know why he fell. He didn't have any injury issues. He didn't lose his job. I don't know. It was weird with Christian Mahogany why he dropped so like he did. But hey, I'm glad he aligned. I think Rake Straw, chip on their shoulder, man. You know what I'm saying? I like getting them kind of guys that's pissed off. Ray Straw, like you said, Walt Pre-Show, I think he might think he the best corner in the drive. I mean, he like that. You know what I'm saying? So,
He should feel that way.
yeah, hell yeah. And then to get Sayon Baki. Now, I personally didn't think that he was going to be like for a running back. I seen Baki play safety, and I like what I saw at safety. Now they saying running back special teams kind of making my eyebrow go up a little bit, but you know what I'm saying? Giovanni Manu, I'm not expecting much. He's a project, you know what I'm saying, which is not a slight against him, but overall, I like what we did, man. You know what I'm saying? While we needed the help at corner, man, by any means necessary, and to draft two corners is way better than trotting Jerry Jacobs and Cam Sutton back out there. That's how I feel about it. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, I mean, it's almost as if they drafted 6 players who were like carbon copies of each other. They all tough guys. They all guys with chips on their shoulders. They all guys who went into the draft process with some strikes on them, some things about them that scouts didn't prefer, GMs didn't prefer. If you look at Rakestraw and Arnold, both of those guys ran kind of subpar 40 times. No one ever questioned how high quality of a football player Ennis Rakestraw was or Terrion Arnold. People just kind of question the elite traits, whether or not they possess the elite traits to really play on the outside at the next level. Now, whether or not they can play on the outside of the next level, that's neither here nor there. We're going to find out real soon.
yeah,
I don't really care about what dudes is doing in rookie camps against other rookies who won't be playing on the team. That's
yeah,
kind of like, I understand everybody during this time of year, if you're like really, really hardcore into your football team, you're into each and every step of the way. But during this time right now, I really don't care too much about what the rookies are doing against each other. Okay, a rookie goes out there, rookie wide receiver goes out there, runs a couple routes against air, makes a catch. People making reels about it. Like it's crazy, Arnold backpedals into an interception. People making reels about it. I get it. Everybody's excited, but these dudes got a lot to prove. Now, I will agree with you on this. We've been complaining about the secondary, specifically the cornerback position, for years.
Yeah.
Years. I'm just wondering what the plan ultimately would have been if the whole situation with Cam Sutton never happened. Because they wasn't getting rid of Cam Sutton. If
Yeah.
Cam Sutton kept his nose clean and that entire situation never happened, he still would have been the number one corner. I wonder would they have still traded for Carlton Davis,
Hmm.
or would they have still went out and signed Amik Robertson?
Yeah.
Because a part of me still believes they intended to go corner in the first round, regardless, even before the Cam Sutton situation happened. So I kind of believe if the Cam Sutton situation wouldn't have happened, and they had already brought back Emmanuel Mosley prior to the draft, they probably still would have went corner. I just don't think they would have traded for Carlton Davis. They may have went out and signed Amik Robertson, maybe, but Christian Mahogany, a guy that I think is going to be a starter
Hmm.
way sooner than later.
Yep. Yep.
They got a couple undrafted free agents. We can get into it at a later show. Also, that I think you and I both feel
Yep.
will be eventually contributors on this team. Rakestraw and Arnold both help out. Manu, I'm about to call him Manu Ginobili, but Giovanni Manu, I think he's the one wild card in all this because considering Decker's entering the final year of his deal, he's getting a little up in age. Still a high quality left tackle in this league.
Yeah.
If Manu develops at a higher, faster rate than a lot of us are hoping, are actually being told right now,
Hmm.
that helps us out a lot. Because now you're talking about being able to finally move Panay Sewell over to left tackle.
Yeah.
Giovanni can slide in at right tackle. You can still anchor the run game behind Panay Sewell at left tackle if you want to, or you can re-engineer everything towards Giovanni Manu. So, and then Siaki Vika. I think he's a guy who, hell of a football player. Now, as a safety, I don't like him in coverage at all, and I think that's a big reason why a lot of NFL people viewed him as a running back, because you can see the vision, you can see the vision, you can see the explosiveness, the decisiveness, and how he runs as a running back. So I understand why they viewed him as a guy that can help out in the run game, and he can. Let's be honest, running backs get hurt a lot in the league,
Hmm.
and there's going to be a stretch of games where Montgomery might be out. We saw it happen last year. Montgomery might be out. Gibbs might be nicked up. You're gonna need Craig Reynolds. You may need Craig Reynolds and
Yeah.
and Vakai to actually anchor that run game while those two dudes out. So I get it, but I do believe now at safety, he can play in the box.
Hmm.
He can do that for damn sure. He can blitz. He can go sideline to sideline. He can contain. He ain't gonna cover too many people, but he can definitely help you cause some chaos in it as far as in that front seven. So I like the draft overall. I think while I'm not sure if we got any superstars, I still believe we got significantly better across the board. Now, the one area, two areas, kicker.
Yeah.
That's one thing that we mentioned. I think a lot of fans wanted Brad Holmes to select the kicker in this draft. He didn't. But that's neither here nor there. But edge rusher. So we were talking about kicker and edge rusher are two positions that didn't get addressed. But aside from that, I think we did pretty damn good.
Yeah, I think the receiver spot is the only sore spot, man. I would kind of, but they did address it with the undrafted free agents. I mentioned as Isaiah Williams from Illinois, which I think he kind of on the small side. I think he might be smaller than St. Brown, but he can play though. You know what I'm saying? He a little
They got some
midget.
juice.
Yep, yep. And I think that's all we kind of need. I just kind of think we kind of needed a more dominating, bigger receiver. You know what I'm saying? I think that's the only thing this team is missing right now. You know what I'm saying? If you really had to handicap it and look at position by position, but that says a lot about Peoples Jones. You know what I'm saying? That they really feel that Peoples Jones is a guy which I think I told you earlier today we was talking about the show, and I think People Jones got some juice. Like I don't know, like last year maybe changing teams and maybe a new team, different
This is his
situation.
opportunity.
Yeah, so I mean I think you can get something out of him. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, and we're looking for more from Jameson Williams. I mean, I think everybody is. I am, and I think he'll be up for the challenge. You know what I'm saying? And I think he'll be fine. You know what I mean? Once the game start. But it could be a situation where we could get you. You know, you mentioned June Cuts. And it could be a receiver out there, maybe to be on the roster, and we also got to take Traquan Smith too from a long time, receiver for the Saints.
Antoine Green,
Yeah,
Khalif Raymond. You can bet Khalif's
yeah.
gonna make the team.
Oh yeah, for
He's gonna
sure.
he's gonna
Bro,
have a spot. But as you and I
why not?
discussed earlier, and we got a long way before we start getting into who gonna make the team or not. But we did mention Antoine Green as being a guy who's gonna probably have to have a huge training camp.
Yeah, to probably stay on the roster, bro. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he fight for his job. You know what I'm saying? When that show comes up later on in the summer, it's gonna be it. Listen, I think him, Anzarike. I think it's a lot of guys, man. That's gonna be, now and I think one of the listeners, just Orlando, he was right. We got the depth, and that's what I do like. You know what I'm saying? I don't fear like if something happens, at a key position other than quarterback. God forbid if something happened to Jared Goff, but I'm saying if something happens to a key spot, I think we can survive. You know what I'm saying? Because remember when Chauncey Gardner went down last year, and it was like, man, Malifonwu got an opportunity, ran with it. You know what I'm saying? And the rest was history after that. But
I don't think we really gave a damn though, because we
yeah,
didn't know what we was missing. He already hadn't done nothing anyway though. He played in the Kansas City game, if I'm not mistaken, but he
mm-hmm.
got hurt against Seattle.
Yeah.
And then, like we didn't even know what we was missing.
Yeah, and Branch was out for a little bit
Yeah.
last year, you know what I'm saying? And we kind of weathered the storm there, so it's almost like our secondary room is tight now, bro. I think that now it's just a matter of me be in the right places. Aaron Glenn got to coach this thing up, which I totally expect. Oh my God, he the one guy I do have confidence in. You know what I'm saying? To really get these guys where they're supposed to be. And I think that's the only situation who's gonna start opposite of Terrion Arnold. You know what I'm saying? Because Arnold's starting. I even heard some ludicrous statement. Somebody was saying, well, he got to earn his job. He how do you know if he's gonna start? He better start. Terrion Arnold is starting, bro. You know what I'm saying? He ain't like,
Hey, listen, we said the same thing about your boy last year too.
you talking about Jack
Jack.
Campbell? Yeah,
We
yep.
felt like since Jack was a
Um,
first round, he better start. Man, listen. Whether it's starting opposite on the perimeter or starting in the slot, he's gonna play. The problem is if he doesn't play as a cornerback coming in as a first round pick, everybody's out here running nickels and dimes. If you can't play in a nickel or a dime as a rookie, there's a problem in that. But one thing's for sure, if he's not ready to play, he's not gonna play. This regime ain't putting him out there. Sam played last year because Sam was actually ready to play.
yeah,
Jameer Gibbs played because Jameer was actually ready to play. And just to get back to the receiver position, I think we keep harping on this because I think this is something legitimate because not burning any bread on Amon-Ra St. Brown or anybody like that, but Saint gets nicked up. Saint plays a brand of physical football where he's gonna get nicked up. He reminds me a lot of Anquan Boulder. Like Boulder used to get nicked up a whole lot too. There's not that security blanket in the pass game outside of him.
yeah,
We have Laporta, but as it is with any offense, once you start chipping away with injuries to weapons, it starts to kind of handicap or restrict what you can offensively do. So if you take St. Brown out of the equation, let's say he's out for 4 or 5 games with some injury, whatever it is, we still don't know what we're going to get from Jameson. That's the whole thing. And even if we do get something a lot better from Jameson than what we got the first 2 years in the league from him, that's still not the security blanket. That's big plays, but that's not the security blanket that Jared Goff needs. So it's interesting, man. I think Donovan Peoples Jones is in a situation where if you can't make a dent in this wide receiver room, then where are you gonna make one at?
Yeah.
Because St. Brown is the number one guy right there. After St. Brown, if I'm Donovan Peoples Jones, I'm like, you know what? Jameson faster than me, but I can get that spot.
Yeah.
I can for damn sure get it over Khalif Raymond. No disrespect to Khalif Raymond, but if I'm Donovan Peoples Jones, I'm looking at this as, dude, I should be in the running to get that number 2 spot on the outside. That's why I would be really disappointed if Donovan Peoples Jones didn't make some noise in training camp. Look
Yeah.
at this room, bro. You telling me you can't make any noise in this wide receiver room we got right here? Antoine Green out there.
Yeah.
We got undrafted free agents out of Duke and out of
Yeah,
Illinois.
Jalen Cook. Yeah, Jalen Calhoun. Yeah, out of Duke. Yeah, he was kind of an unknown. I had kind of had to look at some tape on him. But yeah, some one of them guys might make the roster. You know what I'm saying? Isaiah Williams definitely might make the roster. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. And then it could be somebody, becomes available, what I mean, as the summer goes on, Walt, you know what I'm saying? I was kind of glad I seen the Odell Beckham thing, and I was like, nah, I don't think that Odell's and I like Odell, but it's like I
I
don't
don't think
know.
Odell would cause no noise here.
You don't think so?
I
I
just I
think,
just think people just don't like him like that. Like where has he really been where you could say he was out there causing noise? Early New York Giants, Odell, yeah.
but I don't know if he want to play football though. I don't think Dan Campbell say he like guys that love football. It seemed like he would have to, really like Dan Campbell coach hard, and I don't know how he would receive that. You know what I'm saying? He just don't seem like a guy that would fit in here. You
This
know
is
what
a
I'm
rough
saying?
one right here. And I hate
Mhm.
to say this about one of my own here. Went to Cass Tech, former Michigan Wolverine. I feel the same way about DPJ. Like him, and I think a lot of us said it back then. Him, Nico Collins, Tariq Black, when
Mhm.
Shea Patterson was there, we kept hearing about how great all three of those receivers were supposed to be. I told people Nico was going to be the best out of all of them once they got to the next level. 'Cause I thought Nico was the hardest worker. I thought Nico had the most consistent skill set when you saw it on the field. When you watch DPJ, it's like, and he's right, you keep hearing about how good he was supposed to be. You know, he was supposed to went to Ohio State, but Ohio State withdrew offers and this and that, and he ended up in Michigan. And then you hear about Buckeye fans laughing about how, yeah, we dodged the bullet. We gave y'all Peoples Jones and this and that. We've been waiting on Donovan to take his game to another level since Michigan. And I'm just saying, bro, like if you
Mhm.
can't do it in this room, I don't know what room you're gonna do it in. Because the excuse in Cleveland was you playing behind Amari Cooper. And then what, Elijah Moore, David
Yeah.
Njoku.
Yeah. 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 In Cleveland. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just think that you know the Lions have something that other teams, trying to get there, and they're trying to duplicate what the Lions did, with the two running backs and the two tight ends, and you know what I'm saying. We definitely gonna need Josh Reynolds ain't back. He in Baltimore now. You know what I'm saying. So we do need
Oh,
another
Denver.
guy. Yeah, Denver. That's right,
Yeah.
Denver. I said
With Bo
Baltimore.
Nix.
Yeah, and it's like we need somebody to take that torch. You know what I'm saying? Because like you say, Khalif Raymond is a guy who's going to be on the roster. We know that, but he's not a consistent guy that move the chains.
He's a weapon.
Khalif will catch two or three big, huge passes during the game. You know what I'm saying? But he's not a guy that might not go for 8 catches for 95 yards. You know what I'm saying? He gonna get 3 and 60. You know what I'm saying? That type of thing. So when you look at it, I still think we may be in the market for a receiver. You know what I mean? When it's all said and done before we hit the field in September. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot can happen between now and then. But that's the only thing, Walt. I mean, coming out of the draft, that not getting a receiver. That's all. Because, when you look at it,
What about a kicker?
I'm the kicker. I'm not. People talking about the
Did
guy.
you ever really think they was gonna take one?
No, that's no. Uh, Brad Holmes, that's not his style, man. You know what I'm saying? I think that, and then I think Dan can't. Even though I'm gonna sound crazy saying this, I don't think Dan Campbell trusts a guy. I think he wants somebody that's like a veteran that he can trust. Even though I don't think Dan Campbell don't care about kickers, but you know what I'm saying. I, I believe that uh, Michael, they feel Michael Badgley's the guy. You know what I'm saying? And I right now it is what it is, man.
Man,
You know what I'm saying? I mean, hopefully, like you said, that might be. Listen, we didn't lose any games due to a field goal last year or a missed kick or something like that. So yeah, I mean that's something to really think about going down because think about it, all good teams, all Super Bowl teams have a money kicker. You know what I'm saying? They do. If you look at it, because they can go out there and kick. And Andy Reid not scared to go out there and kick a 50-yard field goal. You know what I'm
listen,
saying?
man. The proof is in the pudding. Just take a look around the league. I don't care how much football transforms through every generation.
Yeah.
All those teams have field goal kickers. Now, if you want a dynasty, you better have one. Look at New England. Well, we all know who New England had. You look at the Colts. All those years, the Colts are great. Vanderjack.
Mhm.
Now, Vanderjack turned out to be a alcoholic or whatever, but that's neither here nor there. But he was still he was still elite. He was really
Mhm.
really good. Like you need that. It's for fans or anybody to really look at the Detroit Lions and say, as a fan base for that matter, screw field goals. We go for it. That's not a
That's
very
not how you
bright way
right.
to manage a
That's
football game.
right. We've been
Every
getting away
facet of
with it.
every facet of the game matters. Special teams matters. Punt coverage matters. Kickoff coverage matters. Field goal kicking matters. Punting matters. Extra points matter. Like all of this stuff matters, and you really have some fans here who actually believe that, oh, that's not our coach's style. We talking about field goal kicking in sports, in professional football. What do you mean? Like it's not about a style; it's about managing a damn football game properly. So I'm still, kind of questioning in that, the field goal situation, the kicker situation, because
Mhm.
you can make the argument against San Francisco. If we had a money kicker, we win that game. If we had a money kicker, they managed that game a lot differently.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I think one of our listeners just said that. I think Tristan, he's right. You know what I'm saying? It does make the decision different. You know what I'm saying? Well, you got a kicker who could make kicks late, especially late in the game. Oh my goodness. I mean, and then one thing I have been learning, um, the last couple years is those the early scoring chances, they matter, man. You know what I'm saying? 7 matter more so than 3
the
points.
Baltimore game,
Yeah, and it
yeah,
was remember we were talking about that. I mean, I take that back. I know 7 matters more than 3, but sometimes it's okay to take the 3. It really, especially early in the game, it's okay to do that. You know what I'm saying? Even if remember that's what happened in Baltimore. Remember they scored the first touchdown, and remember me, he was on the phone like,
we never
okay,
even made an attempt to stop the bleeding.
yeah, to make the game 7-3 or even 14-3, make it,
17-10, 17 to
yeah,
6, anything like that. Any
yeah.
of that is better than 21-0, 24-0 at halftime.
Yeah. So I think you could go different. Say, we down 2 possessions instead of 3. You know what I mean? Or we down 1 possession instead of 2. So yeah. I mean, I did see somebody said Bates too. Yeah, I think Orlando. He said Bates, the Michigan Panthers kicker. People been talking about him kicking 60-yard. I mean, I do think you could bring him in for a tryout. I mean, it couldn't be anything wrong with that, right? You know what I'm saying? Just to give a guy a chance. Look at what was Dallas's kid? What was Aubrey? He wasn't like a juggernaut in high school. I mean, in college, I don't think. I think he's more like of a rugby or what I'm saying, a
Yeah.
kicker that uh
I mean,
kind of
you just
just
want to
came
make
on the
sure
scene.
there's like you and I talked about it prior to the show, man. There's no such thing as a perfect football team, but you want to make sure to the best of your ability. You going into the regular season with as many of your warts filed down as possible. Like you don't want to. We keep talking about this because we talked about the cornerback position last offseason.
Mm-hmm.
How worried you and I both were. It seemed like the rest of the fan base wasn't. Oh, we got Brian Branch and we got Melifonwu coming back and we got Tracy Walker coming back off injury and we're gonna be fine. And it didn't work out that way at the cornerback position. And in fact, even at safety, Tracy Walker did not play well. Let's be honest, Tracy Walker got paid. And I'm not gonna say Tracy Walker got paid and stopped playing because that ain't what happened. Tracy got paid and got hurt. And then when he came back to a brand new regime that didn't really need him like that. They had already went out and drafted Kirby Joseph. So you got paid by what, the previous regime? Or no, Brad Holmes didn't pay him, did they?
No,
Quinn
it
paid
was
him.
Quinn paid. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think the writing was already on the wall for a guy like him. But yeah, man, listen, this team, they improved dramatically. Now, rushing the passer, still up in the air. Could they still go on and add somebody? It's possible. But
Yeah.
you know, you're looking at this team for what they are right now. This is it. Aside from, and you and I discussed this in the pre-show, aside from maybe a trade here or there, or a big name guy, you talking about June 1st cuts, maybe bringing somebody in like that. Aside from that, this is what we got going into 2024 right here.
Yeah, and I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really do think, Walt. I kind of laughed and kind of smirked at the what's up, Fidel? Kind of smirked at the signing, but I think they think Marcus Davenport. I really do. I don't think they just signed him for him to be like, like a corpse out there. I think that,
well, he fits.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're comfortable because Dan Campbell, was in New Orleans. Aaron Glenn, they kind of familiar with Marcus Davenport, so I do think that that's something that's maybe the reason why they didn't draft the edge rusher. You know what I'm saying? James Houston coming back healthy. It's a huge off season for him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I really do believe that our team is better than we were at the end of last season. You know what I'm saying? I really do. I just think from number one experience standpoint, you know what I'm saying? Just going through that and going and losing the game and then going, first of all, just to go, let's backtrack. Just becoming a winning, just constantly winning week in and week out, I think helped this team.
Expecting to win.
Expecting to win, right. Winning the division. Just really being able to play in our division and be competitive, man. And I think, it was just a breath of fresh air to how the season went. Yeah, it was some frustrating moments. And then we found ourselves in the playoffs. We found ourselves in the championship game, and the rest is history from there. So I do think we got some building blocks, moving forward. Like I said, I really do like, if I had to pick, if we gonna just get off of this draft class, but if I had to pick a guy that I really think that's going to be a difference maker, Rob, just blindly, if you just ask me, I would say I don't know. I think it's something special about this Rakestraw kid, man. I think that he I don't know. It just seemed like he got an attitude, man, that he didn't get picked. I like the guy, man. I like what I seen on tape of Missouri from the beginning. It was just I had other guys ahead of him, and I think that more so than Terry Arnold. I think he's more of a guy that's in your face, man, and he's going to be able to roam around. It's going to be interesting to see, period, how it's almost like we got too many guys in our secondary now. I don't know how it's going to shake out. It's a puzzle. It's got to be, figured out. Like even I think one of the listeners even mentioned Manny Mosley, which I don't know how much you can really depend on Mosley right now. You know what I'm saying? Coming off an injury. Not that I'm trying to slight him. I hope he does come back. But yeah, Amik Roberts. I was just going to mention him.
Shouldn't he be on pace to at least be at training camp though? Because he got hurt against, was it Carolina? and that was week.
That was
Was
in
that week
October. I
4?
was at that game. Yeah, it was in October. Yeah, probably now it's like week 6 or 7, something like that.
So shouldn't he
Yeah.
be? He should still at least be on pace
Yeah.
to
Yep.
play week 1,
Yeah. And I think
I
all
guess.
accounts that they're expecting him at training camp, from what I hear, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I mean, from Carlton Davis to Meek Robertson to Manny Mosley. Now you got Terry Arnold, Rakestraw, Brian Branch, Melifonwu. I mean, man, it's gonna really shake out. Like something's gonna happen. In that second, I love the competition, man. Fidel even vouching for Meek. I know Fidel saying that, then I know he can play. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I mean, getting Christian Mahogany, I think that even I love the comment by Brad Holmes saying he kind of got a little bit of dirt bag in him. You know what I'm saying? I kind of like that. I do. I think he got a mean streak. Well, I really do. I
So he
couldn't
got
believe
some
we.
parking tickets, huh?
Yeah, I couldn't believe we got him. That out of all the guys, I was surprised we got him. That's the really because Christian Mahogany can play, man. You know what I'm saying? He can.
That's what I was gonna mention. I
Mhm.
think him. I
Yeah.
wouldn't be shocked if by mid-season, Mahogany and probably Makai Wingo are both playing
Oh
like
yeah.
valid roles for this team, man.
Yeah. Because
The
I even had
cornerback
to.
situation, I just think so short because we got so many bodies right now.
Yeah, I don't know how that's gonna shake out. Man, that's exciting to see, just to see who gonna win that competition. Like I said, because Carlton Davis technically he's penciled in to be a starter, right? I mean, I don't
Yeah,
know if you're gonna sign him to a free agent deal and he don't start. I mean, that's raising all kind of red
he gonna get
flags.
the first shot.
Yeah,
If
man.
he stinks,
Yeah,
we'll
that's
spray the Lysol.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
for sure. If he stinks, he'll be up out of there.
And you
We ain't
you
got
brought up
time
a
to play around no more.
yeah, and you brought up a really good point, Walt, when you were talking about uh, Cam Sutton. Like, if Cam Sutton, what if he didn't get, what if that had never happened with Cam Sutton? I wonder, like you said, would they really had a drafted a cornerback? It's really interesting. I think they would have. I don't know if they might have not traded up to find. I thought they was desperate. So, and then Terrion Arnold is worth trading up for. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm getting at is,
Didn't they re-sign Emmanuel prior to that situation happening with
you
Cam?
talking about Mosley?
Yeah.
Yeah, yep. Mosley was already kind of in the fold. They like Manny Mosley. You know what I'm saying? And it's something to be said when the coaching staff, really is behind you. You know what I'm saying? I'm really root. That's one guy I'm rooting for. Not so much. He maybe not start, but at least he on the roster can make an impact because it seems like the Lions really sticking with Emmanuel Mosley. You know what I'm saying? And we've seen what he can do. You know what I'm saying? Prior to the injury, but it's just
Yeah.
been just downhill ever since he's been here. But yeah, unbelievable, man. Just from the draft, just from what I take of it, our roster as a whole, because everybody kind of looks at it individually instead of looking at it as totality. The draft has got so many moving parts. You know what I'm saying? I'm not worried about giving up a third round pick, you know what I'm saying? Because, somebody already mentioned Hendon Hooker. That's a good segue to kind of maybe talk about Hendon Hooker a little bit. Um, I listen, I'm a Hendon Hooker guy. You know what I'm saying? But it's okay if he doesn't start this year. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't. Maybe after this year, I think preseason. Remember, we even said I know I said it. Like, he should be exclusively anyway coming off this injury. He should be
Yeah.
every
He's your backup quarterback.
yeah, every
Yeah.
snap, man. Coming starting from August, from July when they start training camp. He should be the guy that's taking the reps in preseason. You know what I'm saying? Because the Lions got to know what they have in Hendon Hooker. You know what I'm saying? On the field, they know tape wise, they know talking to him, they know interviewing him, they know practice, but you got to get him out there because if you have something with him, then maybe you can parlay that into something good down the road. You know what I'm saying? I think that they really have to figure that part out. You know what I'm saying? It sucks for him that maybe Goff got the contract because now he's like, well, damn, I'm not gonna be able to show what I can do. You know what I mean? But we know how sports work. We know football. We know how it works. You know what I'm saying? It's a business. You know what I'm saying? And the best thing you can do is stay ready. That's all you can do at this point. So I really do think that this is the huge off season for him, a huge preseason coming into this preseason because, like you say, he can be the backup quarterback. I mean, there's no shame in saying that.
No, I seriously doubt if it's gonna be anybody else. It better not be Nasty Nate.
Yeah, Nate Sudfeld on the roster still, but but
Yeah,
like you said,
well,
he should be third string, right? Because
yeah.
and I just want like maybe this is a perfect time to really maybe talk about golf a little bit before we get into our concerns before we wrap it up. Um, you know, I think the biggest thing as fans, we kind of we the Motor City, right? Picture this, Walt. Like we ride in our drop top. It's summertime, and we riding down the street, and we looking at these beautiful homes, and we say, that house look good on the inside. I mean, that house look good on the outside. Not knowing that our house, what we got is pretty cool too. You know what I'm saying? We ride in the drop top. We ride and cruising.
Yeah, but our house don't have the below ground swimming pool line.
Babe, but hey, it might not even be finished on the inside though. They
Look at
still
that
got crews.
chandelier in that house.
They still got crews building the walls up in that bad boy. That's the Lions fans right there. We looking at all these other teams, right? We looking at C.J. Stroud and how good he looked with the Texans, and we looking at Patrick Mahomes just win Super Bowls as usual. We looking at other guys.
Lamar
Even Josh,
Jackson,
yeah, Lamar
Josh
Jackson,
Allen,
Josh Allen, and rightfully
Justin
so.
Herbert.
Those guys are great. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes you gotta like what you have to. You know what I'm saying? And I come to realize, listen, Jared Goff is what he is. You know what I'm saying? He's not a bad quarterback. I mean, it kills me when I hear people say, well, he don't run or he don't do, and it's like he doesn't. That's not his game, man. And I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. Like you put players in position to excel. Like remember when the Pistons were really good? Like Rip Hamilton wasn't a 3-point shooter, but he'd kill your ass on the inside. That's you know what I'm saying. And it was players around. He didn't need to be an outside shooter because it's other people, other teammates and other situations in the game where other guys would take up the slack. Same thing with Jared Goff, man. You got a dominant offensive line. You got two good running backs, borderline great running back in Jameer Gibbs. I mean, now, you got a great tight end. I mean, you don't really have to be a guy to go out there. We've been through the Stafford years. What did arm talent get us, Walt? Even though it was a different circumstance and coaching and personnel, but we didn't win a damn thing. And we had a guy who had a cannon for an arm. That Stafford could throw it with the best of them. You know what I'm saying? And we didn't win one damn thing.
He
You know what I'm
won.
saying?
He won somewhere else
Yeah,
though.
but I'm talking about with the
Nah,
Lions
I get
though.
it. No,
You know what I'm
I get it
saying?
1,000%. I agree with you, man.
So
I think we, and I'm as guilty of it as anybody else, man. Traits, traits, traits. All I
yeah,
talk about is traits, traits, traits. I think sometimes, and we take a look around the league, even historically, man. A lot of those dudes with the big time physical traits don't get anywhere. We put so much glory and so much shine on these quarterbacks with the big arms, the size, the mobility, the quote unquote difference makers. And you take a look at their teams and how big of a difference are they really making in their teams. We look at guys like this, and mainly people look at Goff and they say, you know what? He's not a $50 million a year quarterback. Patrick Mahomes, he's one. Josh Allen, he's one. Lamar Jackson, he's one. Well, you can make the argument that, especially in Lamar Jackson's situation, Lamar's played for a better organization. That's not even up for debate. Detroit's gotten better since Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell have gotten here, but historically, it's not even a comparison between the Baltimore Ravens and the Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
Lamar's had way more to work with in Baltimore. Defensively, on that side of the football, running game wise, you can make the argument maybe not wide receiver wise, but
Yeah.
Lamar's had way more to work with in Baltimore than, Jared Goff, at least what we've had here in Detroit,
Right. Right.
and hasn't gotten it done. Josh Allen had less to work with than Lamar Jackson. Big time physical talent. One of those guys that we consider as one of those hymns, a guy that you would pay. Where's he gotten them? Nowhere. I mean, I'm
Right.
not gonna say nowhere. He's won playoff games, but
But
now
yeah,
at the end of the day,
ultimately,
we can look at it and say, you know what, Patrick Mahomes was the roadblock that stopped all of them in the AFC. But that gets me to our guy. Okay, our guy, he ain't bright and shiny. You know what I'm saying? He might be driving that Ford Expedition.
yeah.
He
Yeah.
ain't the Lexus. I get it.
Right.
He don't have the big arm. He
Right.
not gonna rip off a 75-yard touchdown run. He's not gonna throw the ball 75 yards on a rope to Jameson Williams. I get it. But our guy has two losing seasons in his career. His rookie year with the Rams under that dude that hated everybody. Your boy Jeff Fisher. And then his rookie year with Detroit when we didn't have anything and the cupboard was bare. So the dude's a winner. You can knock him all you want and say, well, he had talent around him with the Rams. Okay. He
Mhm.
still had to drive that bus. Well, it took him to get talent with Detroit for him to win. Okay. And once the roster got better, we went from 3 wins to 9 wins to 12 wins. So the dude has consistently been a part of winning.
Yeah.
And if people can just not get so damn caught up in the physical attributes all the time, if you put up a silhouette with Jared Goff's career numbers, winning wise, passing touchdown yards wise, you'll say, hey, you know what? I'll take that dude. Yeah. He looked like he's pretty good. The problem is when people see the Jared Goff picture come up under on top of those numbers, then it
Yeah.
becomes, oh no, no, man.
Well,
No, he ain't worth that, man.
yeah, yeah. Well, it's funny you even brought that up because I seen a stat today. If you look at it since they was traded, Walt Stafford and Jared Goff, damn near identical stats. I mean, to separated by like one or two.
Matt got way
But
more picks.
yeah, but the touchdowns is the yards. You're right. Jared Goff was taking care of the ball better than Stafford, more so than Stafford. Well, that just brings my point,
Yeah.
like you said, just what you said. If you would have had that other person, they would have swore it was Prescott or one of the other guys or Herbert or something like that compared to Stafford's numbers. No, it's Jared Goff. You know what I'm saying? It's just they are almost identical. Just so when you get into contracts, and what a guy's worth, to me, I always feel like that the NFL, they reward the flavor of the month. That's what I call it. You know what I'm saying? Because really, to be honest with you, Patrick Mahomes is justified what he so-called makes, and I get uncomfortable talking about what a man makes and contracts and stuff like that because really it ain't none of our damn business, to be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? It shouldn't even be public information what these guys are making. You know what I'm saying? That's number one, but it is what it is. It's sports. But anyway, it to me it's like you know having Jared Goff for the time, the organization, give them a standing ovation. First of all, we've never been known for paying anybody, except for Stafford and Calvin Johnson. So for them to pony up and pay St. Brown, to pay Penny Sewell, to pay Jared Goff, I mean, it shows you they have a commitment to win. I'm winning. I mean, they want to, and they see the window. I mean, we've seen it. Caleb Williams to Chicago. JJ McCarthy to the Vikings, Jordan Love in Green Bay. It's going to have to be elite quarterback play to win this division this year. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have a guy that knows what the hell he's doing. What are you going to do? Get rid of Jared Goff. Who you bringing in here? You think Hendon Hooker's going to be ready to go? Even though I like Hendon Hooker, but he hasn't had enough experience. I mean, I don't know. You could always bring up the CJ Stroud factor, I guess. You know what I'm saying? With any
Nobody
quarterback.
saw that coming though. People just
You know
like
what I mean?
throwing those anomalies out there.
Yeah.
Nobody saw that coming at all.
Yeah.
We don't know. I mean, it's
Right. Right. You
the
know,
dude deserved to get paid. At the end of the day, he really did. And
yeah.
fans have to stop getting so caught up in what they think someone deserves.
Yeah.
The
It,
dude
it
exceeded what he was supposed to do when he first came here.
yeah. And then like you said, if you look at it, he's been a winner. You know what I'm saying? He since the minute I think I told you the year we had 3 wins, his first year, I want to say we played Chicago, and it was I know we never win in Chicago. It's weird about with the Lions dynamic with the Bears, man, in Chicago. But I think Jared Goff had a passer rating of like 37 that game. I think that was his lowest game since he's been in a Lions uniform. Other than that, he's always brought something to the table, man. Like in a game. And I remember when we lost to the Eagles, I think it was not last year, the year before last, and he had like his highest game, he was like 350 yards. And a lot of people say, well, it was empty stats because we was down by 20 and all that. I it's for me, Jared Goff wasn't the reason why we didn't make the Super Bowl last year. I mean,
Man,
I'll say it once and I'll say it again. It wasn't because of the way he played. So I'm comfortable with him moving forward.
some people are just stubborn. They
Yeah.
don't want it. A lot of us, me included, because I had my views of him when he first got here. A lot of people have these predetermined views of him for what he was with the Rams and how McVay and the Rams disrespected him on the way out. And of course, he and McVay have since, reconciled and got past that. But the people who just don't want to believe in him, some of them just refuse to ever do it. So it went from, okay, yeah, he's here now. What's it going to take when he first got here? What's it going to take for you to believe in Jared Goff? He's got to win a playoff game. He did it. Well, he's got to win the division. Well, he did it. Well, he's got to win 2 playoff games. He did it. Now they still don't want to believe in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If that's what I say, if you believe in them, you believe in them. If you don't, you don't.
Yeah.
But it's a situation where you got to sit back. You got to let this whole situation play out. Now, the one thing about it is that a lot of times in these situations, when these dudes sign these contracts, knock on wood,
Yeah.
we see injuries. Historically, we see this with these teams and these players throughout the league. But yeah, I mean, overall, man, if you can get past nothing really being sexy about Jared Goff's game overall, if you look at him for what he does, he's very accurate with the football. He's gotten better as far as when it comes down to progressions across the field. He's still not really a guy that's going to take a lot of chances downfield. That's never been him. Going back to Cal, going back to the Rams and whatnot. But if you can evaluate this dude fairly,
Yeah.
and remove your personal views on everything and evaluate him for what he's done in his career, not just find an excuse to knock him at every single turn, you'll then realize, okay, you know what? We got a legitimate shot with this guy. I
Yeah.
was one of those people that said it when he first got here. Man, listen, Stafford's better than Goff. And if Stafford couldn't win a playoff game here, what makes y'all believe Goff gonna do it? He showed me. He won too. I'm not one of them stubborn ass people that just feel like they got to keep moving the goalposts. And but we talked about earlier how we heard guys on the radio trying to blame Jared Goff for the playoff, the Rams, not the Rams, but the 49er loss.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Reynolds dropped the ball, but the ball placement.
Yeah.
Like they will always try to find a way to make sure they don't give this dude any credit. And like I said, I'm not the biggest golf fan in the world. But at the end of the day, he gives us the best chance to win next season.
Correct. And that's all I was saying too. And I feel the same way. I mean, like I said, it's like when you look at the rest of the NFC and it's like, no, the Lions management and thankfully that they're competent enough where they can see it. I mean, just look around us. Look at the quarterbacks. Jalen Hurt. You know what I'm saying? We didn't have to talk about our division. We talk about, Jalen Hurt, Jaden Daniels, Daniel Jones, you know what I'm saying? Kyler Murray, Brock Purdy, you know what I'm saying? I mean, Jared Goff is just as good as all those guys to me. You know what I'm saying?
Gino.
Yeah, Geno Smith, Dak Prescott. You know what I'm saying? It's just, come on, man. You know what I'm saying? And they see it's a window. And I'm telling you right now, we got 1 or 2 years. The next, after that third year, then maybe we got to revisit it all over again and then finally get that quarterback. Or, like you brought up a good point in the pre-show, the way Brad Holmes has set this team up, depth wise and contractually, we'll be able to have a still perennial playoff team and can get one of these high profile quarterbacks down the road. Second stop. What if Josh Allen never wins a Super Bowl in Buffalo? Like you said, what if he gets, disgruntled?
Tired of one's out.
Yeah, what
Yeah.
if what if one of these other guys just wants out of the situation? We all forget. People forget. Players become available every year. You know what I'm saying? The guys you would never think become available all of a sudden. Super Bowl caliber team got an opening in a quarterback. Coming off a couple NFC Championship game, maybe a Super Bowl appearance, and we haven't won it yet. You know what I'm saying? You mean to tell me we don't try to get one of those high profile quarterbacks after Jared Goff if he doesn't win one? So I this team is set up, man. That's the only thing you could say moving forward that you're confident. Like in years past, the Lions would have a good season, and the next season it would be shit again. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that this organization they're not set up like that anymore. You know what I'm saying? They're able to overcome injuries and still stay afloat. They're able to, be able to uh capitalize on other teams' weaknesses, which is something we've never done. And we've actually made adjustments to the fly. We've actually, rectified our secondary, I believe. You know what I'm saying? And that was a big elephant in the room last year. And hopefully this year, that 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 solves a lot of our problems, deficiencies on defense. You know what I'm saying? It makes us a better unit if our secondary can hold serve, and stop the opponent. So,
All right. Well, before we get out of here, man, what's your biggest concerns?
receiver, I'm gonna say more so than the defensive line. Pass rusher. I'm gonna say receiver. Wall. I want to see some man. We Josh Reynolds, for everybody that want to blame him for dropping that pass, which I think is kind of unfair because Josh Reynolds balled till that play, man, for that the last 6 weeks of the season, made big catches. So what I want to see, man, we need JMO to really come into his own, and we need another guy, low key. Who's that other guy going to be? I don't know yet, but the receiver.
No, I can second that. I think we've been talking about that since prior to it, before the season ended. I think everything got really echoed when Reynolds did drop that pass in the NFC Championship, whatnot. But can't blame that completely on him. I felt like it was the 49ers were the older, more experienced football team. We were younger, brand new to the situation. It felt more like a young team meltdown to me. The Josh Reynolds 2 drops. St. Brown had a drop. You talking about the Khalif, not Khalif, the Jameer Gibbs fumble, the
Mm-hmm.
Vildor football off the face mask bouncing in Brand Ayuk's hands. It felt like a young team type of meltdown. But I agree. I think receiver is still a big concern. I don't have as big of a concern as far as the pass rush as some people do because I feel like it's about health with that defensive line. If
Mm-hmm.
DJ Reader stays healthy, he commands a double team. He's not a guy that's just going to be, and I understand he doesn't really provide a lot of pass rush value on the interior, but
Yeah.
DJ Reader provides a stopgap in the middle of that defense that commands a double team. So if you got somebody in the middle of that defense that consistently demands a double team, that creates more one-on-ones.
Mm-hmm.
You dudes on the outside better win some of them damn one-on-ones. So
Oh
at some
boy.
point in time, everybody can't have a TJ Watt opposite of Aiden Hutchinson, or a Miles Jack, not Miles Jack, but or a Miles Garrett opposite of Aiden Hutchinson? How about one of these other dudes step the hell up? DJ Reader and Aleem McNeil. Even Aleem. I think we need Aleem to take his game to another level.
It's a big year.
Can we get 10 sacks from Aleem on the interior?
It's a big year for him. Yep.
Marcus Davenport.
Yeah.
Davenport is a big physical throwback type of defensive end that fits that 4-2-5. He's athletic enough to get out in space and make tackles. And as far as the run game and run contain, he can also power rush the quarterback. There's a lot of things that we have more guys, I think, this year that can step into those roles as long as they're healthy. So I think if the defensive line remains healthy on the interior, it'll help out the pass rush a lot more. But like you said, I mean, I think wide receiver is a question. And then, of course, kicker. We need to be able to win more games more conventionally, too.
Yeah.
And I think we fell into games last year where it was too much of go for it, go for it, go for it. You can make the argument about the Dallas game. If we had dependable kicking, that game might have went different, and it would have had to come down to the NFL screwing us. So,
facts.
Kicker and wide receiver. I don't think those situations are doom us. I still think we're a good enough football team. I like the fact that kick returning is back into the fold now.
Yeah.
I think that's another reason why the kid from Utah was brought in, because he can return kicks on special teams. He can also gun. What we got down here? Some questions. Not questions, comments. Orlando says, prove it year for DPJ. Yep. Also says, built to stop the run. Stopping the pass is what remains to be seen. Complete retool there, so I feel great. Yeah. Like I said, I mean, I can get it. People wanted Daniil Hunter. Some people wanted Dallas Turner, the kid from Alabama. Some people wanted Josh Allen from Jacksonville. We were never going to do that. That's just how it is. They were never going to do that. And I for damn sure didn't believe they was going to bring a free agent in and greatly overpay him more than one of their own guys. I think that's a precedent that they don't want to set in this team and within this organization as well. So, all right, man. We back for the first time in about 3 weeks for these people. We're gonna be back tomorrow night too, because we got the schedule release.
Show. Yeah. Oh boy, it's gonna be, just a quick take on that. It seems like, I've been hearing rumors, Monday night against the Seattle, I think September 30th, I heard. So I don't know if that's true or not, but maybe that might be a situation. We'll look into it tomorrow. Well, we'll know everything. You know what I'm saying? I'm hyped, man. It's gonna be great. I mean, just our schedule is tough. That's the way I like it, man. No excuses. Just bring it, man. Bring it. You know what I'm saying? If you want to win, you got to win, man. Who on your schedule? So.
For sure, man. Been great being back. Like I said, we'll be back tomorrow night with the schedule release. Do some predictions, some way too early predictions on what games we gonna win.
Yeah.
Which games are gonna be the crucial games. Which stretch of the season you view and I view could be a rough stretch for this team. Because at the end of the day, it's gonna all come down to injuries. I think this is a very deep, talented football team now, that as long as they stay relatively healthy in comparison to everybody else, because every team goes to their stretch of injuries. Of course, it comes down to who those injuries go out to, the extent of those injuries, and how long. But till next time, which is tomorrow night, see you later.